Hi and welcome to this edition of Out the Box. My name is Paul. Today we're going to have a look at what is in this box. This is the TP-Link Omada router. This is the DR3220v-4G. Quite a mouthful, but it is a multi-option router. It supports 4G. I think it's a category 6 in the 4G. It supports wired internet connection through a 1 gig SFP or 1 gig RJ45 Ethernet connection, and it supports ADSL and VDSL. So, not going to be a big technical overview, just want to show you what's in the box. So let's head on over and see what's in the box. So to start off with, you're going to get your installation guide. There are some useful bits in there, so probably worthwhile having a look at it. You're going to get a couple of conformity and license indication documents. You're going to get your telephony feature guide. This has a couple of spare FXS ports where you can plug a standard analog phone in if you've been provided a SIP connection from your provider. So useful information on how to set that all up in there. You're going to get a little SIM release tool. This is a dual SIM device as well, so I'll show you where that works in a moment. You are going to get a couple of rack ears because this is a rack mountable device. Again, hopefully we'll remember to show you those in a minute. You're going to get some little feet to put on the bottom if you want to put this on a desk and get some airflow around it, as well as the small screws to put those rack ears on the device. You're going to get probably a 1.5 to 2 meter Ethernet cable. You're going to get your power cable, IEC at this end. We're in Australia, so standard Australian plug here, but obviously whichever region you're in will be relevant. Then you're going to get two options for the antennas of this device. So if we were going to put this on a desk, we can actually screw these directly into the back. We can see the two antenna holes there. Now obviously this isn't going to be useful if you're going to put this in a rack, because in a rack you've got metal all the way around it, and you've probably got that under the stairs somewhere or in a cupboard. So the reception for 4G probably isn't going to be great. But if you're going to sit that on a desk, then that's your option for your 4G antennas on there. The other option, which is probably more useful, is to use these magnetic mounts. So these come with, so you get two of these, one for each antenna, come with about 1.5 meters, maybe just over 1 meter of cable that you can see. And each one has got a connector on the end. So we can obviously screw that into the bottom of the device here. And then we can mount our antenna directly on this. Obviously you would have brought that through the side of your rack, most likely out. You can see the magnetic already clipping to the metal chassis of this router. And then obviously you could put one on either side of the rack, or maybe you've got them both on the top and you can angle that way up as well. So there you're two antenna and your two mag locks or mag mounts for those as well. Right, let me show you around the unit itself. Let me do the bits that I forget to start with. So those rack ears there, those are just going to mount onto the side of the device. As you can see with the small screws that you've got, that's just going to fit into that splice there, one on either side, and then that will then mount into the rack. So let's have a look at the device itself. So over on this side, obviously we start with our indicator lights for the ports that are connected, whether ADSL or DSL is running. We've got our LTE, so our 4G indicators over here, and our small reset hole. Then we've got our SIM slot. Now this is a dual SIM. Again, nice design, single SIM slot. If we just pop that out, it's multi-sided, so you're going to put two SIMs in, one on either side. Top is for SIM 1. That's going to give you extra redundancy. USB for extra expansion. We have then got a 1 gig SFP port and a 1 gig RJ45 for wired internet connection. This is a combo port, means you can only use one or the other at a time. And then we've got 4 switch ports here. These support 10, 100 and 1 gig. You may well be able to set those up as multi-WAN, but you do have several WANs already, so I'm not sure in the software, you'd have to check that. Then you get your FXS ports. So this is where you can plug in your standard telephones and then use the config guide of how to get that working with your VoIP provider. And then you get your DSL, VDSL connection there. You can see the device, metal chassis, a little bit of cooling on the side there. And then on the back, very simple, we've got our desk locking. We've got our earthing pin. We've got our two antenna mounts, whether you're going to run those to the magnetic or put them directly on here if you're desk mounting it, and your power connection in there. So that is really all there is to that unit. Hopefully that's been useful. Why don't you head on over to our YouTube channel? We've got plenty more box openings on network, firewall, wireless, and camera security, how-to guides, how to set up TP-Link Omada, for example, as well. So why don't you head on over there, subscribe, and stay up to date.